I would say Riot has too much confidence in letting us vote. But yes, one of the more interesting ideas that League Classic brought to the table was the idea that players would be able to vote on what content they wanna see in the game. And long story short, here we are, we can now vote, apparently. Now, it was mentioned that the first vote will not be that big, it should be smaller things that... It should be pretty obvious what people will be voting for there. But of course, the system of vote weights is already in the game. Now, I can show you, as an example, I'm pretty sure I should be on max voting power, because I did get the pass, that's plus one voting power. Then there is this one, this is also plus one voting power. Then, on the level, I believe there's no more... Damn it! I am missing 5 levels for one more voting level. Okay, so I'm not maxed out. I'm missing 1 level because there is another one somewhere in here. There it is. So I am missing 1 power. I'm gonna assume if I vote now, the voting power will count back retrospectively, right? That would make sense. I'm not a rider, but that would make sense. But yes, one thing I quickly want to mention is that League Classic had a really good start. People really liked it, but over time, people dropped off a little bit because one of the biggest pieces of feedback that Riot got is that there is simply a lot of champions missing. Which is why Riot now completely turned around and they are now focusing on adding in as many champions as they can. And so right now, as you saw on the screen, if I can, there we go. Right now, we get the 3 ninjas in the game. I will say, I like Shen a lot. Old Shen is just so fun and so simple to play. I really like it. However, it was confirmed on PBE that in the next wave, we are getting a bunch of Demacian skins. And among them, there is Poppy. And Poppy is getting a hilarious skin. Perhaps we can talk about that one later. Anyway, for now, it is time to vote. We only have six days to vote, huh? Voting power 4. All right. Let's dive in. What is the council? Well, we know. We're gonna be voting. It's the council to help shape Classic. Regional 5 for voting power. Improve your Classic level for voting power. I'm still missing 1 more power. And yeah. So we will be able to sway the votes. Okay, so here we go. How does game length feel? You know what? I feel pretty good about this one. There are, I mean... Old Classic, like original Classic, those games lasted, I would say, about 40 minutes on average even, because you were able to get like 55-minute games, no problem at all. Right now in Classic, we are around 30 minutes, almost on the dot, and I do like it. I do like 30-minute games. I know it doesn't feel Classic, but hey, I play Classic, my vote matters. I guess. I think. That's how it should work, right? Anyway, I think game length is good. I like it. Okay. When is a game too long? I would say a game is too long when you hit the 50 minutes. 50 minutes is like, look, I do have life, and I feel like in a 50-minute long game, it's fine when you hit it. Once in every 10 games, let's say. It is fine. Like 60 minutes, that's why, like 60 is way too much. There's no, I don't want to live in a world where it is even possible to like hit a 60-minute game. 50 minutes is too much. If the game is like 48, I will say like, okay, that was a long game, but sure, right? 50, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of that. Sure. So next. Which of these items do you want us to revive in Classic? Each item that scores higher than 50% is added. Okay, so it's interesting that they don't have the... So this is more like feedback. And they are like, all right, if people really vote for this, we'll try to do something about it, but we may not have to. The same goes for the game. Like, you know, what is too long? Like, these are pretty much feedback. This is actual vote now, because they state what is the percentage for the votes that you need to actually do something about it. Now, ZZ Rot is a bit of a newer item. I would say it fits the vibe of Classic, where you go crazy, you can do whatever. Now, Cloak and Dagger, I genuinely don't remember what it does. It gives you crit and... Wasn't it crit and magic resistance, or am I crazy? Cloak and Dagger. My god, I have to Google what old Cloak and Dagger does, huh? Hold on. Okay, Cloak and Dagger was a legendary item with attack speed, a critical strike chance, and tenacity. That sounds okay. The tenacity, it's like, you know, instead of Mercury threats, so it makes sense that you can do like crazy movement speed build and then throw in Cloak and Dagger for that. I would say, because it is like an assassin-y, like Master Yi-ish item, which I don't know if we need more stuff for Master Yi. But it's not the most exciting items that I would go for. Now, hold on, I have no idea. Moonflare Spellblade. I very vaguely remember this one. Now, hold on, I can't actually find if there was like a different version of this. Re-edit, so it was removed before. I'm trying to look through the history. Okay, so there are some differences. Like, the old version was actually built from the Arm Guard, from Seeker's Arm Guard, and a Negaton Cloak. Interesting. Even though, like, there was a moment where it was from the Null Magic Mantle, sure, but it always did roughly the same thing, where casting an ability resets your basic attack timer and empowers your next basic attack, you know, classic Sheen, except it does reset the timer on the auto attack. This one also gave you 90% bonus attack speed, which means right after you cast an ability, the next basic attack is instant, essentially. Additionally, each basic attack, which, you know, is on hit, reduces the cooldown of your abilities by 0.5 seconds. Now, assuming this is the version that makes it in, I can imagine people will have fun with this item. I will be honest though, I don't know if there was a classic version that actually did something different. I would assume so, but I'll be honest, it is a shame that it doesn't tell you. Also, another interesting thing I realized is that, hold on, you can only vote for one or all three, because I would be fine with Zizirot and Moonflare. Negatron Cloak, I kinda don't care about, but these two items fit the vibe of who cares, let's have fun, which is why, sure. Add in 3 items, you unlock more fun for players, I am down for that, I say. So moving on, should Classic add jungle timers? If opinion 1 and 2 receive more than 50% combined, the higher of those two options wins. That makes sense because you only have to vote for one, so like, I'm gonna assume, yeah, this is no. And this is yes, modern jungle timers that are always visible on the minimap. Only when scoreboard is open. I would do... Why is this not an option? Like a toggle, like you can choose. That's what I would do, because some people might be annoyed by the timers and others really might need it. I would say always have it on, so you know what's going on, but it might be a little bit of a cluster on the minimap, so an option would be nice, but I'm down. I'm down. There is no downside. This is not a serious game mode where you really want to like hardcore do everything, so any kind of help you get anywhere just to have the fun, sure. I have like no issues with that at all. Base gates were added at the start of Season 5 to give defending team one way to read it. I will say, yeah, more extreme comeback mechanics, huh? We should keep the base gate in the game. I would say you do not keep them. I don't really like them, and that's kinda it. Like, it's a step outside of what felt like the classic layout of the map, and the map is kinda a very core part of what makes the game feel classic. So I would say nope, I would go without gates. How snowbally do games feel to you now? I think it's fine, because you're supposed to snowball. Like, you're supposed to actually, when you get fed, you can feel it, you can carry the game. That happens right now. If Akali is fed, she can carry it. If Gangplank is fed, my god, he can one-shot you. And that's Classic. That is literally what Classic is about. That old way of balancing the game and giving you the feel of feeling strong, which is like that's the core mechanic of Classic, because in any game there is a chance that you're gonna be the fed one. And one day it's gonna happen to you. And that moment when you are fed and you can one-shot everyone, it feels amazing. And that's kind of what people remember Classic for. especially the people who played any kind of a carry. I mean, even AD carries can like 3-shot literally anyone in the late game. So yes, I think it's fine. I like it the way it is currently. Do you feel that war trinkets improve? Oh, classic gameplay. So here's the thing. I play support, and as a result of the trinkets, I don't have to rush Wardstone. Now, on some champions, for example, I like Shen support. On some champions, you want the health, or Taric. Taric and Shen both go for the Wardstone because you get health from the item. I would like it, and this is outside of Classic. Actually, dang it, would I like it? Because I would like it if other supports, like AP supports, would have some kind of a warding item that gives them, maybe not health, maybe it gives them something else, maybe it gives them AP, mana regen, something like that. Because of the trinkets, I don't have to rush the Wardstone, so I can buy a gold item or two, and then maybe a little bit of something that actually helps me in lane, and then I can get the Wardstone after I get rid of the trinket. So, because of that, it's positive. But I will tell you, people are not buying wards as they used to back in the day. So, I would like to try it. I would like to try it without them. Just without the trinkets to see what happens. But I'll be honest, it is a positive thing in the game right now because you can have more fun with all the other systems in Classic because of trinkets. Yeah, but I would try it without them just to see what happens. And finally, oh my god, what is this one? We are adding 2 critters to the river. One at the top, one at the bottom. What should the critters, oh my god, pairing be? So we are literally deciding on a critter. Now, I'm pretty sure these were not in Classic. I am definitely sure this is just an Easter egg for fun. Turtle, duck. I like that there is no percentage. First of all, there is no percentage on what makes it into the game. Okay, I'm gonna say the highest one just wins. And secondly, there is no option to say no, huh? There is no option to say no. I will say it should be turtle duck. I want to see both. I want to see both in the game. Now the turtle, Heart of Gold reference, sure, I get it. The duck, I have no idea. But since they have both models, why not? Yeah. So that's what we're using our votes on, huh? Okay. No champions voting, huh? I'm gonna assume that they learned their lesson and people really want champions in the game. So champions are likely coming, which means we should be voting on turtle and a duck. Yes. Votes have been saved. Huzzah! Well, that is it. So, again, I'm gonna assume I have time to get my voting power to 5. It's gonna be in no time. It's gonna be very easy to do. And then when it locks in, that's when the voting power will count. But yes, it is awesome to see that Riot is trying out this voting. Except, I will be honest, there will be people who expected the voting to be used for... Well, we did use it for items, but there will be people who are like, do we want more new skins for champions in Classic? And do we want more champions? Well, the truth is, champions are coming because that was one of the biggest pieces of feedback that Classic got overall. So more champions are coming. They are focusing on that. And when it comes to skins, the truth is that the skins are kind of in the hands of the way Riot has to monetize the game. It might not be worth it for them to make new Classic skins if no one is gonna buy them, meaning they are gonna just make something that's gonna sink the cost, and Classic is not gonna be sustainable. So they need to figure out how they want to monetize this. Who knows how it really works right now, but I will be honest, I would like it if they made more of those cheap chromas for the champions as brand new skins that never existed before. I would be totally fine with those. But I will be honest, Poppy is coming back to the game because Demacia is coming. So there is Galio, there is Poppy, there is Xin Zhao, and Poppy is getting Lollipoppy. But it's not actually the OG one. They are making a special version of that skin. And we should all run.